a man will meet God at night. Around 4,000 years ago, on the banks of the Jabbok, Jacob prepares to meet his past. What follows is a struggle that will change his name and his future. This is the real story. Jacob is a man who has run from home and now returns. He carries wealth, wives, and a history of deceit. He is restless, expecting fear and possibly war as he nears his brother. He believes a new life depends on surviving this night. The angel appears not as a simple messenger, but as a force that will test Jacob. He is luminous and inscrutable, a presence that presses questions against a man's soul. In this culture, such encounters mark destiny and covenant. As twilight deepens, Jacob sends his family and flocks across the river. He fears ambush and wants them safe. He is alone when night falls, and the cold water and the hush of the river press on him. He prepares to cross with a heart full of memories and dread. When the camp is gone, Jacob feels both relief and fear. He thinks of his brother Esau, of stolen birthright, of revenge he expects. He wrestles with guilt and need for blessing. In his culture, a blessing shapes legacy. Jacob believes only a blessing can secure his future. In that very moment, a stranger seizes Jacob, and they wrestle until dawn. Jacob fights with all his cunning and strength. The struggle is physical and spiritual. Jacob clings, refusing to let go, because he believes his life and blessing depend on this hold. As the night gives way to gray dawn, the struggle becomes a test. The stranger refuses to answer Jacob's questions, yet Jacob presses on. He is not merely defending himself. He seeks a blessing, an affirmation that he is not condemned by his past deceit but chosen for a future. In that moment, the stranger twists Jacob's hip, and Jacob cries out as his thigh is wrenched. The pain marks the cost of holding on. The stranger's action teaches Jacob that transformation often comes at personal cost, wounds that will carry meaning into his new life. As the pain sharpens, Jacob refuses to release his hold. He cries, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." This plea reveals his deepest need. He wants confirmation of divine favor that his own schemes did not secure. His insistence becomes an act of faith. In that plea, Jacob seeks not only blessing but identity. Names in his culture carry destiny and character. To be renamed is to be redefined before God and people. Jacob, the supplanter, wants to become something more than his past manipulation allowed. At that moment, the stranger says his name. "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with humans and have prevailed." The word Israel signals a new communal destiny. The encounter transforms Jacob from trickster to patriarch. As the struggle ends, Jacob limps because his hip is put out of joint. The wound becomes a lifelong mark, a reminder that covenant and calling can cost the body. In the ancient mind, such a sign testifies that God has acted and the man has been changed. When the sun rises, Jacob names the place Peniel, saying, "I have seen God face to face, and yet my life is preserved." He recognizes that the encounter was with the divine. Naming the place anchors his memory and teaches his descendants that God meets people in raw struggle. From that moment, Jacob walks with a different bearing. He is wounded but empowered. His name change signals not only personal forgiveness, but a shift toward a people who will be shaped by covenant struggle. The story explains how a personal crisis can birth communal destiny. When morning comes, Jacob sends gifts ahead to Esau and rehearses a humble approach. But now he does this as Israel, one who has wrestled with God and survived. His actions show that true repentance and courage are born of direct encounter with God, not only fear of human retaliation. Days pass and Jacob tells his family why he limps, and why the name Israel matters. The wound and the name become a family claim. God met their ancestor and changed him. This explains how oral memory in that culture preserves theological truth and communal identity. As the narrative closes at the Jabbok, Jacob's transformation reframes how blessing works in the story of Israel. It is not secured by trickery or force alone. It is bound up with struggle, cost, and divine encounter. The passage teaches that covenant is shaped through wrestling with God. In that way, the single night at the Jabbok points forward. Jacob becomes the father of a people named for a struggle with God. The scene foreshadows a national identity forged in hardship and divine presence, reminding readers why Israel's history emphasizes encounter and perseverance. As the reader learns, Genesis 32 shows that faith is not neat. It involves conflict, bodily cost, and a new name. The passage teaches that God meets flawed people in their struggle, and that divine blessing often follows persistence and an honest wrestle with fear and guilt. In the end, Genesis 32 wants us to see that God transforms through struggle. Jacob is renamed Israel because he wrestled, and the wound is a lasting sign that blessing can cost us. If this story moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you do not miss the next one.